Over the years, more and more coral reefs have been dying. These reefs are really important to both local and distant places by impacting tourism, the supply of medicine and food, and the economy. In order to save coral reefs and stop coral destruction, humans need to change their actions, even if it may be the harder thing to do. Imagine scuba diving on a coral reef while vacationing. The coral reef is filled with beautiful colors and many types of fish. There is so much ocean life in this setting, varying from turtles, to eels, to seabirds, to sponges. Now imagine scuba diving in the same place, but instead, all the coral is rock hard and a colorless white. There is hardly any ocean life. Which setting would be most enjoyable to scuba dive in? A setting full of color and biodiversity, or a place that is sad and bare in its lack of colors and inhabitants? Worth more than US $30 billion annually in global goods and services such as coastline protection, tourism, and food. Coral reefs also provide economic services such as jobs, food, and tourism, estimated to be worth as much as $375 billion each year. Coral reefs protect shores from large waves and storms. Coral reefs also attract tourists, which helps businesses near oceans. Coral reefs protect shorelines by absorbing wave energy, and many small islands would not exist without the reefs to protect them. Coral reefs are so important that the cost over a 25-year period of destroying a kilometer of coral reef is between $137,000 and $1,200,000. Unfortunately, coral reefs are dying because of destructive fishing practices, such as dynamite fishing, bottom trawling, and muro-ami, which is the practice of banging on reefs with sticks to attract fish. Also, overfishing is causing a problem to coral reefs. Careless tourism, such as careless boating, diving, snorkeling, fishing, and dumping sewage on reefs is a big problem. Pollution, sedimentation, coral mining, and climate change can also kill coral reefs. All of these things can result in coral bleaching until the coral dies. Notice something about all of these reasons? All of these reasons have to do with humans. People are directly responsible for the coral reef destruction. In 1980, 27% of the Caribbean was covered by coral reefs. By 2010, only 12% of the Caribbean was covered by coral reefs. That is about 15% more of coral that is now colorless and rock hard, instead of a gorgeous biodiverse environment it should be. The GCRMN on this graph stands for the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network, and Gardner et al. 2003 is a science website for coral reef studies. In 1998, it was reported by Earthwatch, an international environmental organization, that 30% of the Philippine coral reefs are dead and 39% were dying. In 2000, 95.7% of coral reefs in the Philippines were reported to be in a very bad state. Indonesia and the Philippines are the two countries where the consequences of dynamite fishing are now widespread. Coral bleaching is the main cause of coral reefs dying. The polyp, which is part of the coral, protects the algae, which lives in the polyp skin tissue, also known as zooxanthella, which is shown in the diagram. The mouth, throat, stomach, and hard base is part of the polyp. Many polyps make up an entire coral structure. In return for protection, the algae provides the color in the coral and provides the food for the polyp, which it gets through photosynthesis. When the water in the ocean is too warm, the coral gets stressed and the algae inside the polyp is exposed on the outside of the polyp instead of the inside. The algae now can no longer provide food for the polyp and coral and provide the coral's beautiful color. The coral eventually dies and becomes rock hard and white in color. Bleaching can happen with flexed water temperatures starting in difference within 1 degree Celsius, but also because of all the previous reasons listed. Reefs are home to a large variety of animals, including fish, seabirds, sponges, worms, crustaceans, mollusks, echoderms, sea squirts, sea turtles, and sea snakes. These are just some of the millions of organisms in sea life that survive on coral. Nighttime predators that also live on the reef, such as cardinalfish and squirrelfish, hide during the day, while damselfish, surgeonfish, triggerfish, and parrotfish hide from eels and sharks. Another sea creature that sometimes visits the reef are dolphins. Also, about 6 million tons of fish are taken each year from coral reefs. Well-managed coral reefs have about 15 tons of seafood on average per square kilometer a year. Southeast Asia's coral reefs alone yield about 2.4 billion annually from seafood. Coral reefs are very important because many species depend on them for survival. If coral reefs die, thousands of species die. Coral reef plants and animals are important sources of new medicines being developed to treat cancer, arthritis, human bacterial infections, Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, viruses, and other diseases. Humans have been able to use coral reefs for medical products for many years, but if they die out, humans will not have the ability to find, create, or produce more medicines for certain illnesses. Coral reefs also provide food and income to over 500 million people worldwide. If reefs die, fish will die too, causing fish populations to plummet and the cost of fish to skyrocket. Coral reefs are very important to the ocean life and economy. Humans need to save coral reefs in order to save our world. Coral reefs provide a home to many species, provide food and medicine, and also provide money to businesses. In order to save coral reefs, humans need to conserve water, help reduce pollution and throw away trash, use only organic fertilizers, plant trees, stop destructive fishing practices, dive and snorkel responsibly, volunteer for a coral reef cleanup, and lastly, spread the word. The more people that start doing these things to save coral reefs, the more likely coral will survive.